Testing. Testing 1, 2. You there, Gregory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, y'all! From the Dave Campbell's Texas football mothership in beautiful, scenic Carrollton, Texas. I was trying to think of another word to describe Carrollton.
Scenic.
It is DCTF Live, an internet show. My name is Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, which apparently a lot of people are.
There are a few people.
Or you are listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on iTunes. So thanks for being here. I'm sitting here. Sitting over there is Max Thompson.
What's up?
Max, it's a big
Why? What's going on?
Big day.
Do people in Texas consider this to be noteworthy?
It's a noteworthy day. It's a
that's
noteworthy day. Today is Wednesday, June 15th, 2016, episode 151, the number of times that Don Slott struck out as a Texas Ranger.
Who could forget?
Don Slott.
Who could forget? 151 episodes.
How about that?
Not
How about
bad.
that? If this is your first time watching, we're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com talking football in the Lone Star State. But if this is your first time watching, then we know why you're here. And
Why is that, Greg?
And we're just going to get right to it.
Oh, we're just jumping right into it? We're not messing around.
My friend, I like to give the people what they want. And
Well,
they are here.
You are a man of the people.
They are here to hear my story of picking up my wife from the airport last night. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Today is a special day. It is the day that we reveal the cover of the 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a tightly kept secret. We were talking about this. How many people have seen the cover right now?
Yeah, I want to say between 10 and 20.
10 and 20.
10 and 20.
It's a very, very, very small number.
I asked on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, if anyone could guess their best guesses. We've got 4, 2 on each, plus a 5th who was biased. We
like to keep this a secret, and honestly, I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
No.
Not through any sort of nefarious means, but I have a big mouth, so things tend to slip out. So the fact that we were able to keep this a secret until now is impressive.
A Christmas miracle.
But that ends now.
Uh-oh.
Let me introduce you to the 1963 edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This is the 1963 edition. This was 53 years ago. At this point, this was the 4th annual edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It was, people were starting to think, okay, maybe this little magazine out of Waco has a chance. Maybe. Start making some noise. This is the 1963 cover featuring Texas coach Darrell Royal and Texas quarterback Scott Appleton.
Lineman.
Texas lineman, rather, Scott Appleton. The plotter and the executioner. Okay? I've always loved this cover.
You are fond of that cover.
It's always been, to me, one of the more iconic covers.
Never shut up about that cover.
It's one of the more iconic covers in Dave Campbell's Texas Football's illustrious history. And I've always thought, man, wouldn't it be cool to put a modern spin on an old classic? Wouldn't it be cool?
Nah, let's never do it.
It is my great pleasure to unveil the 2016 cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the 57th annual edition of the Bible of Texas Football, featuring
Bum-ba-da-bum.
Texas Tech coach Cliff Kingsbury and Texas Tech quarterback Pat Mahomes.
Pretty awesome.
How about that? There it is, the Kingmaker. Cliff Kingsbury is the Kingmaker. Pretty excited about that. Pretty proud of how this all turned out. We'll get into more of that in a moment, but we've got a little bit more. So let me take you back a little bit longer. 1996. 1996, this is a relatively, honestly, forgettable cover. I'm going to be entirely honest. But one of the cool things we did was we did a gatefold cover. It's got the secondary cover inside, which featured Terrell Haynes of San Antonio Roosevelt. So, it is my distinct pleasure to unveil the secondary cover of the 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, featuring Austin Westlake coach Todd Dodge and Westlake quarterback Sam Ellinger. There you go, folks. The 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So there it is. That's what we got, guys. That's it. We can just end the show, right?
I worked pretty hard to get a bunch of other stuff ready for it, so let's keep the show going, I think.
So there you go. That is the cover. and I'm very, very, very pleased with how it all worked out. Let me tell you about how we came to the decision to put Pat Mahomes and Cliff Kingsbury on the cover of the 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So this is a year where it seems like there are more compelling characters across the Lone Star State than we can ever remember. There's a lot of really compelling characters. If you want to get down to Charlie Strong and Kevin Sumlin, Myles Garrett at Texas A&M, of course what's going down in Houston with Tom Herman up here in the corner, as well as with Tom Herman and Greg Ward Jr., what's going down at U of H. There are 3 new coaches, technically 4 now that Baylor has a new head coach.
Right.
3 new permanent FBS coaches with Everett Withers at Texas State, Frank Wilson at UTSA, and Seth Luttrell at North Texas. Of course, what's going on at SMU? What's going on out at UTEP?
Right.
It's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool time to be a fan of football in Texas, and so we had to kind of figure out, okay, what is a story that we can tell in an interesting way that will get people excited and get people talking about football in the Lone Star State. And honestly, I started looking out towards Lubbock, and I started thinking, man, there is something very interesting happening on the South Plains. You've got a coach in Cliff Kingsbury who is I would say, the preeminent quarterback guru in a state full of quarterback gurus. This is a guy who finally has his hand-picked guy. Pat Mahomes is his hand-picked guy. So here we have an opportunity to say, hey, here's the guy as far as quarterbacks in Texas is concerned. And he's got his guy. And that was something that was too cool to pass up. Beyond that, I unfortunately threw it this way. Hold on, I'm going to duck under my desk and grab the cover. I mentioned the 1963. I've always loved this pose. I've always loved this. And so we really wanted to recreate it. I've always really kind of wanted an excuse to create it almost. And we were able to do this. We were helped by the fantastic folks, Dominique Harmon and Barry Nelson out there in Lubbock at Captivated Images, captivatedimages.com. And they were fantastic in helping us recreate this. And so back in March, was it March?
Yeah.
March, we flew out to Lubbock. And we met up with the great folks at the Texas Tech athletic department. A big thanks to Robert Giovanetti, who was so instrumental in helping put all this together. Whenever you're doing a cover shoot, there's a lot of moving parts, and Robert Giovanetti at Texas Tech could not have been nicer in helping us put this stuff together. And so we went out there and we met with Coach Kingsbury and we met with Pat, and actually had a great photo shoot. I thought they were extremely generous with their time and with their efforts, and we shot in a couple of different places. And of course, Dominique Harmon and Barry Nelson at CaptivatedImages.com did such fantastic work and able to put this really iconic image together. And so actually, we took the opportunity to catch up with Coach Kingsbury. And so we got a little bit of an interview with Coach Kingsbury that we can show you now. Coach, by now everybody will know you're on the cover of the 2016 Summer Edition Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Your third time on the cover, most of anybody ever. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's incredible. Growing up, son of a Texas high school coach, this was like Dave Campbell's was the Bible. So we'd go pick that up, and everybody's waiting to see when it came out. And it was a huge part of my upbringing. So just to be a part of the magazine is a huge honor for me.
When you look at your squad heading into 2016, pretty optimistic?
Very optimistic. A lot of the guys that have played a lot offensively, set the school record for points last year, and we feel like we'll be much better as an offense, which was is encouraging. And defensively, have a bunch of young guys who kind of got baptized by fire last year, but expect them to grow up and be better on that side of the ball.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Everybody knew about Jakeem Grant. He kind of burst onto the scene. He was the big time kind of shining star last year. Who's the guy we're going to be talking about this time next year?
I think Justin Stockton. He's a guy who kind of sat behind DeAndre Washington, was a great back for us, and has bid his time, and really is an explosive player and has a chance to be really good for us.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Best of luck in 2016.
Appreciate it.
So there's Coach. Had a great talk with him. Very nice. I'll tell you what was one of the things that's always going to strike me about doing that photo shoot with Coach Kingsbury is this is my 6th summer magazine, so we were able to put I know I've done it a lot. So we were able to do put it all together, and we've had different kind of experiences in all of our photo shoots.
Right.
You've got guys that you really need to direct and make sure that they know what they're doing and stuff like that. Coach Kingsbury kind of toss him a football and say, "Hey, if you could just kind of stand there with it."
Right.
and this guy just he grabs the football. Coach Kingsbury grabs the football and just kind of like strikes like blue steel.
He was ready.
He was
ready.
He was so ready.
Yeah.
That's something that's always going to stand out to me. It was really, really interesting. A fantastic opportunity to go out there and shoot with Coach Kingsbury and Coach and Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes, guy, there's a lot expected of him, and he was a sensational junior year. There's a lot of or sophomore year rather, a lot of excitement around him for his senior year or junior year rather. And we were able to catch up with him during the photo shoot as well. So here's our interview with Pat Mahomes. All right, Patrick, by now everybody will know that you are on the cover of the 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I got to start by bringing you back 15 years to when another guy was on it. I want to get your reaction to this guy,
God.
number 16.
Yeah, that's a little skinny guy right there.
maybe a different breed of quarterback than you. For you, you're a guy from White House. You're a Texas kid who plays at Texas Tech. What does it mean for you to be on the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football?
It's a big thing. I mean, Dave Campbell, kind of grown up around hearing about him and just looking at his magazine and seeing to me, it's a huge deal in Texas. So just to be on the cover of it, it's a awesome opportunity and an awesome thing to accomplish. And
you're on the cover with your coach, and I know that obviously that was a big part of you wanting to play for Texas Tech. So for you two to be together, I imagine that's something that's pretty special.
Yeah, it's really special. I mean, he's the best quarterback coach in the country, and just for me to learn from him is an awesome experience, and it's taken my game to a level where I can be on the cover, and him to enjoy it with me is going to be a great thing that we can always remember.
Let's talk about 2016. Obviously, you guys had a breakout 2015 season. Now 2016, it's coming in with expectations. Is there a little bit of change in mindset based on going from kind of being the unknown commodity to, a guy with a target on his back?
A little bit, but at the same time, being at Texas Tech, no one really expects us to do too much, and so it's still that kind of thing where you are a guy that you want to go out and prove something, and you want to go out there as a team and prove that you can win games, prove that you can go out there and be the best in the country.
All right, so what can you tell Tech fans to expect as an encore?
You're going to expect more. That's all I'll say. I'm trying to take my game to the next level. I'm trying to be the best in the country, and I'm trying to make the team better at the same time, and expect a lot of wins as well. So.
All right, and do you think, I'm going to get you on the record, do you think you're going to look better than this guy when the cover comes out?
That guy right there for sure.
Appreciate it, Dan. Look out. So there you go. That's the main cover. Pat Mahomes, great guy. You could tell. I'll tell you, you could tell that he was not used to this kind of attention. I think that a kid from White House, he's like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, couldn't have been nicer.
Could not have been a
nicer
nicer
guy.
guy.
Good time.
Could not have been a better representative of Texas Tech and the university. So we were really excited to talk with him. I should probably mention, this is probably very in the lead, but you know who we got to write the main feature about Cliff Kingsbury?
Kind of a big deal.
Bruce Feldman.
Yeah,
that's
baby.
right. Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports wrote what I think is a really good feature, main
so
feature.
Cool.
On Cliff Kingsbury and Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
What I really liked about it is that I think it's very different from a lot of things that we've done in the past, in that it is it's very nitty-gritty. you get inside the mind of Cliff Kingsbury and what he's looking for in a quarterback. Like, why Pat Mahomes is his quarterback.
Yeah.
There's also a great quote in there about how Johnny Manziel changed Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really interesting read. I really enjoyed reading it, and I think you will too.
Yeah, I think we talked about who we wanted to write this feature, and Bruce had just come out with the book, The QB, which if you haven't read it, it's totally worth your time. It really breaks down how the position works and how it's evolved over time. And I think we both felt like, who better to analyze this relationship and what makes Kingsbury such a good quarterback coach and why he was the one guy who devoted to Pat Mahomes when other programs weren't quite as sold on him.
Yeah, and in kind of with a guy in Bruce who is obviously a tremendous writer, but is also a guy who's kind of the quarterback. When you talk about guys who break down quarterbacks and journalists who understand how quarterbacking works,
right? He's
the guy.
Yeah.
And so when we got Bruce Feldman, that was I was super, 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 super excited about it. So there you go. By the way, you may notice a little Tom Herman action.
That's right.
H-Town
Takeover, baby.
H-Town Takeover making the cover as well as the reefer, and it says Tom Herman's Cougs are here to stay, and they are. We don't just put stuff on the cover just to put stuff on the cover. I think Tom Herman's Cougs are here to stay. So that is the main feature, the main cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So we're getting some questions. It will hit newsstands on June 24th, or it's going to start hitting newsstands on June 24th. So check it out then. You can also order it online at texasfootball.com. All right, let's move over to the other side. So then we got this secondary cover, right? Got the secondary cover here with Sam Ehlinger and Todd Dodge. First and foremost, again, we're kind of trying to recreate the plotter and the executioner from 1963. That was kind of the idea that we were going for. And so if you look at all three of these next to each other, to all those. Anyway, let me tell you what I love about this job. What I love about this job is the difference between going to a major college and going to a high school. So, for example, when we went out to Texas Tech, this was something we had to schedule. We had to get everything, get our ducks in a row. And that's why Robert Giovanetti was such a superstar for us, because there's a lot of ducks that have to be in a row.
A lot of moving parts.
Yes, it's fantastic. So a lot of moving parts, and Robert Giovanetti and the whole Texas Tech athletic department did a great job putting it all together. When I approached Todd Dodge about putting he and Sam Ehlinger on the cover of the secondary cover, I just emailed him. And he said, yeah, Thursday or Friday will work.
Yeah.
You guys want to come down? So this was in April, I believe.
Yeah.
In April, we went down to, drove down to Austin. We met up with Deborah Cannon of the Austin American-Statesman, who just did fantastic work. And we kind of showed them, we brought along the image of 1963 and said, hey, we want to make this happen again. This is what we want it to look like. And so we put it all together and got together with them after practice, met up with them. And the cool thing about that was we got to watch a little bit of their spring practice. And let me tell you, I am a guy who it takes a lot to sell me on hype. Yeah. And I've heard a lot about Sam Ehlinger.
Boy, yeah.
I'm the guy, and so I'm like, okay, let's slow down. Let's slow down the hype train just a little bit, guys. Let's make sure that we're this kid can really play. I watched 10 minutes of practice of him, and I was sold.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
This Sam Ehlinger kid is incredible. The other thing, very nice kid. Very nice kid. Both these guys were very easy to work with. Coach Dodge, and Sam Ehlinger and Deborah Cannon all put it all together, and we were very, very, very excited to put them on the cover as the secondary cover. Again, just the second secondary cover we've ever done, but we had this idea of doing this all putting together in kind of a recreation of an iconic image, and so there's that. We were very excited to get together with those guys. So here's the other thing. So up here, I want to shout this out specifically. Up here it says West Texas Drought. You got a photo of Odessa Permian. Our secondary feature this year is a story about West Texas big schools and can they ever catch up to urban areas? Can they ever catch up to the big cities? Because the big cities have dominated in Class 6A and Class 5A. That's who's been dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Can West Texas ever come back? Can Odessa Permian come back? Abilene, who won the last title in 2009, can they get back to there? Because right now it seems like all the strength is around the Houston, the Dallas, the Austin, the San Antonio, the big city areas. This story is written by Evan Wren at the Abilene Reporter News, and boy, I feel like I'm going to throw him under the bus here for a moment. When I first contacted Evan about writing this story, I was a little skeptical. I was like, all right, I don't know if he can come through. I don't know. I'd read some of his work. I'd read some of his work, and I liked it.
Right.
I was like, all right, there's some guys who can't do that.
Yeah.
There's some guys
what we leaned on with this was knowing he's out there.
Yes.
Right, and he's been there for a while.
Yes. And so we were like, okay, he knows his stuff. Well, at the very least, it'll be very well informed. Evan Wren hit this out of the park. Okay,
it's awesome.
If you're gonna pick up this magazine and read one thing, you're gonna read one thing.
Yeah.
Read Evan Wren's secondary feature. It's outstanding.
Great interview.
It's so good and so in depth, and really gets to the core of what the problems are and why West Texas can't get over the hump. So I really wanted to shout that out because it was spectacular. So there you go. Of course, by the way, we are previewing more than 1,400 high schools. More high schools than we've ever put in our magazine.
Yeah.
1,400 teams get a preview. 1,400. Do you understand why we haven't slept now?
It's actually more than that, but yeah.
Yes, it's more than 1,400. It's like I had a number. I think it's like 1,412. It's something. It's in the teens, as far as that. But it's a labor of love. We spent a lot of time and sanity on this.
Yep.
And it will begin to hit bookshelves on June 24th, and it will also go to. You can order it online at texasfootball.com right now and have it shipped directly to you. Best places to find it are going to be H-E-B, Walmart, etc. I'm trying to think of anything else in the magazine I really want to get out there. Bruce Feldman on the main feature, as I mentioned. Evan Wren on an outstanding secondary feature. Really good. As far as
Cover Boys?
Oh, yeah, we can go through Cover Boys.
We can talk through the Cover Boys.
So
each class.
The Cover Boy in 6A is also the Cover Boy on the secondary feature. Sam Ellinger.
Surprise.
Written by our friend Mike Craven. He wrote that. The 5A Cover Boy, written by our friend Avi Zalian at the Dallas Morning News. Eno Benjamin, Wiley East running back Eno Benjamin. The 4A Cover Boy, written by who?
This guy.
Max Thompson.
Yeah.
Who'd you write about?
J.K. Dobbins down at LaGrange. What an awesome interview I had with him and Coach Matt Cates. I mean, it was I think anytime you call any of these kids and their coaches, you never know when they have such high profiles. J.K. Dobbins is a stand-up dude. Had a great time talking to him, and this is his big year, senior at LaGrange, and they've got a lot to prove. And before he leaves and heads off to Ohio State, so
3A Cover Boy, written by yours truly, is about
not worth reading. Just skip it.
About Zane Young at Brock, the linebacker. It's about Zane Young. Had a great conversation with he and Coach Chad Worrell. It was a lot of fun. 2A Cover Boy. There was only one choice here.
Right.
Had to be Rashad Paul.
Yeah.
So Bryce Cherry down there at the Waco Tribune Herald wrote a really fun article about Rashad Paul and kind of his legacy and how this is kind of already just in his senior year, he's already shaping up the cover, shaping up his legacy as one of the better players in small school history. And then our 1A Cover Boy, also written by Mike Craven, Jaquan Thompson at Calvert. Very interesting read on kind of his idea of how he maybe didn't necessarily want to be the guy who played six-man football. He wanted to play 11-man, but he's fallen in love with 6-man. Really fun article. And our private school Cover Boy, written by our friend Adam Coleman at the Houston Chronicle. It is Christian Schellmeyer, the Houston Lutheran South running back. It's a big 400-page magazine, the largest preview magazine in the state. In the world. Actually, it's true. It is the largest preview magazine in the state. It is the largest football preview magazine in the world. It will be on shelves starting June 24th. You can order it online at texasfootball.com. So there you go. One last look at it. We got Cliff Kingsbury and Pat Mahomes with Tom Herman there as well. And then in the secondary cover, you've got Todd Dodge, Sam Ellinger, and Odessa Permian there. So I think that's it. I got nothing else to say.
Yeah,
So,
normally we go longer than this.
Yeah,
we got
normally
another
we-
5 minutes to kill.
but we'll be back in 30 minutes, or 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. I promise.
Yeah, we'll
So-
be back tomorrow to deal with all the scorn and feedback and everyone who wants us fired.
That's gonna do
It's
it.
going to
for
be
us.
so much fun.
It's gonna be great. That's gonna do it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.